your consent has been given to record this meeting and post it on social media platforms. Okay, so let me start before asking you guys that have you ever had a dream to rise above your existing conditions and create a life for yourselves that you're proud of? I'm sure many of us would have thought yes. But also, are you working towards making that happen? That puts many of us in dilemma, doesn't it? Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to today's Alma Connect session. I, Ishita Bhatia, would be a host for this evening. Today, joining us are Principal Ma'am Professor Vibha Singh Chauhan and our staff coordinator Dr. Seema Joshi. Before we start, I'd request Seema Joshi ma'am to give the welcome note. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ishita. Good evening, everybody. As all of you are aware that today we are holding the second speaker session under Kirorimal College Alumni Network live series on building career paths by sparking conversation and connections with alumni. One of the important objectives of this Kirorimal College Alumni Network is to connect our alumni from different domains, functions, businesses, and walks of life with the current batch. With these live sessions, we have been making an attempt to solve queries and provide guidance to the current students for materializing their dreams. Besides this, we at Kirorimal College Alumni Network want to ensure student engagement in academic pursuits. And we also want to ensure learning continuity during this period of pandemic. We also believe that such activities will help our students in overcoming academic pressures and mental anxieties. I'm very glad to share with you that today we are having with us Erasmus Mundus Fellow of 2021-23, who happens to be Kirorimal College alumna of class of 2021 with us. I extend a very warm welcome to Ms. Timpi Yadav, who has brought laurels to the college by winning such a prestigious scholarship as Erasmus Mundus for 3 years. Please welcome her with a big, loud round of applause. I request all of you to give her a loud round of applause for her achievement, for a big achievement. Now I request our principal madam, Professor Vibha Singh Chauhan, who is an inspiration behind this network, to kindly welcome Ms. Timpi Yadav along with the participants. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Joshi. Thank you. It's a pleasure. When this is happening and evening is drawing close, then at least I wait to see what is going to unfold. And today we have what is called the greenest and the freshest alumna from the most recent pass outs. Timpi Yadav, she has passed out in 2021. She will, I think, her results will probably be still awaited. So she is actually, I think, in two worlds at the same time just now. She is a student and very soon to become alumna. And an alumna that we are always going to be proud of, because the scholarship she has got, the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, is a very prestigious scholarship and funded by the European Commission. And it actually, the thought behind the scholarship is collaboration among European countries and collaborations between European and non-European countries. And it's a competitive scholarship. Most scholarship holders go on and follow an academic career. But what is also true is that they can branch off to any career, because what is important is one has to be good and do well and know your discipline and interrelated disciplines. And you can do well anywhere. We can do well anywhere, actually. And what is often also told to us by people from different professions is, if you're good in your profession, your fame and money just follows you. You be good in what you have to do, and you don't have to work for money, and it will follow. You cannot be stopped. So it's important to have a level of excellence in what you're training to be. Yesterday we had our alumna from the Reserve Bank of India, and in a career which is very different from the kind of career one anticipates Timpy Yadav to have, though it is too early to really say these things are not fixed. One changes, one makes up one's mind after maybe finishing a certain course. So it is not really fully known unless Timpy is someone who knows her mind, but lots of times we are not sure what we may end up doing. So we have to do well what we are doing at that moment. And the career path that one chooses obviously would depend on a combination of what you are trained in and what you like to do. And lots of times, best career is a career which grows out of your hobby. And teaching and research, I think, is one such area which combines, for many of us who have been teachers all our lives, teachers and researchers all our lives, it combines profession and hobby. So we are fortunate in that, and we just hope that the careers our young students and alumni decide to follow will be careers that will be useful fundamentally to society and bring them joy, fame, name, money, everything. So, but it's an evening, actually you should hear Timpy Yadav, and I'm sure she'll be introduced in detail by one of the organizers of the program. So I must end, but before that, I must also say that it's a pleasure to, it is my pleasure to thank the organizing team, the alumni network, Professor Seema Joshi, who is the staff representative and staff coordinator on the alumni network. All the alumni who are involved, all our present students, and all our participants. Welcome, enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. So it is my honor to introduce our guest for the evening, Miss Timpy, an alumni of KMC who has achieved great heights in her academic career, despite coming from a rural background, and here as a live example that your dreams can come true if you work towards them with zeal and dedication. Timpy is a recent graduate in BSc Analytical Chemistry from KMC and also has a certificate in German from St. Stephen's College. She is from a small town of Charki Dadri in Haryana. She has been honored with the Phenomenal Performance Award for her overall contribution to the Department of Chemistry in KMC. She has also been awarded with Erasmus Mundus Scholarship worth 49,000 euros. It is considered a highly reputed, prestigious, and competitive international scholarship with a rare selection rate of 2 to 5%. She also received offer letters from a number of universities, including University of Edinburgh, which is a QS rank 20, University of Manchester, Newcastle University, etc. Timpy served as an office bearer in the Chemistry Society for 2 years. She has always been a meritorious student since school and received a Meritorious Student Award for 2019 to 20 from the Department of Chemistry. She has did her summer internship under Professor Ashok K. Prasad, currently the HOD Department of Chemistry, University of Delhi. She has been a part of a number of national and international conferences and also worked as an event coordinator for 2 national conferences. Hello, Timpy. I would like to thank you for taking out time from a busy schedule to be here with us today. So, let us start. So, Timpy, how do you feel about the great heights that you have achieved today?
First of all, thank you so much, Ishita, and thank you so much, Principal Ma'am and Professor Seema Joshi Ma'am, for inviting me here. It's a great honor to be sharing my thoughts in front of students, teachers, and other mates. And I feel so much delighted to be here. And the first thing that I feel grateful about everyone who guided me through. For example, my seniors who cleared my doubts and told their experience, my teachers who suggested me what to do, what to not to do, and my friends who helped me to get through sad moments and happy moments together. So it's a great pleasure to be here, and hopefully I will try my best to answer all the questions from the participants and from you, Ishita. Thank you.
Sure. So, Timpy, now what are your plans for the future?
There is a quote from Robert Frost. These woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles before I sleep. So I'm so much motivated by this quote. For now, for next 2 years, I will be exploring my options, whether I want to do a PhD or I want to do a job, and then later on I will see. And for I have a dream to pursue my PhD from university, especially Harvard. And in a long run, I would want to be a global change maker who brings some positive change in the lives of people. And this is all my dream about.
That's very great, Timpy, and also very inspiring. So, since we all know that you come up from a small town in Haryana, so what were the difficulties that you faced when you were getting started with your academic journey?
Thank you, Ishita, for asking this question. I would like to take this question as an opportunity to tell my journey before coming to KMC. So I belong to Haryana, and I have experienced life in many ways. I I have worked for whole days in field for with family, and then help my parents with the household works and cattle, buffaloes. We completely used to do work in the fields because that's what here we belong to village. And I would say, just imagine how is it to hold a sickle, or what we call here the rati, and this kasya and pavli, all these things, and then you go for studies. So I wasn't like that I shouldn't do this. My parents and family was always supported me, and they always try to make me learn most of the things, not only the things that one girl should do. According to them, one can it doesn't matter you are a boy or you are a girl. So they let me learn driving as well and riding a bike as well, and they supported me all through. Also, as you just mentioned, I'm from a small town, so I never let the small town thing to come into my way. I did my best always, and it helped me through. But in general, if you would see here in villages or in rural India, girls, the situations are very much different. The girls are supposed to marry at very early age, and their parents don't want them to study. But with time and education, I think the things are changing, and that's a silver lining.
So, I think not only you, but your parents are also very inspiring for supporting you always. So, how was your experience here after you came to KMC?
Okay, so the truth is, most of us discover where we arrive when we are heading to it. For example, in the start, when I entered KMC, I wasn't known where I be arriving at. For example, I received this Erasmus. So when I entered KMC, I did had no like guess or what anything. But KMC framed me in that way that I can go and I can see what I want to do. For example, as I said, I want to be a global change maker, and KMC has truly framed me for that. KMC used to have a number of conferences, and for example, a lot of people with diverse backgrounds and cultures and subjects. So it helped me to develop a different perspective, a very diverse, wide perspective about thinking and a way of thinking. Also, it has many societies. If you see, for example, NCC, NSS, all are great, impeccable. They can help you to grow. And also our seminar hall in few years back, when we used to have this physical campus mode. So what there used to be done, there used to come speakers who used to give lectures, and they were very impeccable global leaders that I used to listen them all and try to learn the best qualities from them that helped me all through. Most importantly, what KMC gave me was the exposure, and secondly, the confidence to do what I want to do.
Okay. So, like in a college like KMC, where everyone has been high academic rank holders, how did you deal with the competition and the peer and performance pressure?
Okay, yeah, very true. In KMC, everyone is their school topper, obviously. So I took this opportunity to let me grow, because I never let this competition in negative sense. I thought, why not to learn from the best intellectual people around me, and that truly helped me. For example, it is a common saying that in a group of five, if you are sitting with fools, you will be another fool, and if you are sitting with intellectual, that help you to be one intellectual. So it was so.
Okay. So, like you were always a meritorious student. So, how did you manage between the societies and the college? And also, you were doing a German certification from St. Stephen's as well. So, how did you manage all of that? And like, were in any societies also? And tell us about that.
Yeah, in the starting, I joined NCC. I did it for one semester. But the most important thing is what we decide priority. So for me, from second year, things are very much clear that what I do want to do next, and the other things that I want to grow properly, for example, in all ways. So I joined the chemistry society, and in my second year I joined the Stephens College for German language course, because I wanted to learn German, because I had previous thought to go to Germany. And then I did summer internship in Department of Chemistry under Ashok K. Prasad sir. So it was all because I was known what to do. And when you have your priorities decided, you never let other things to distract you. And the managing quality that comes when you deal with a number of things. So it is my way.
Okay. So, like, since like us, you were also from a batch which had, spent a partial time in online classes as well. So, how was your experience different online from that of offline?
For in online mode versus online mode, I truly can relate. For example, we had half of our grade in offline mode, and half of grade into this offline mode. So the thing is, I believe that if a student wants to do anything, he can do in any mode. It just their deal within that, let them to do in the offline mode. What used to happen, we used to interact people in in-person mode, and that led us to develop our communication skills, a great exposure. But with this online mode, it skipped or minimized or vanished. But I I chose this opportunity to be more focused on what I wanted to do, that is study abroad. I used Google day and night to scroll about the websites, the universities. So I used online mode in that way. And as classes were happening online, so there was a lot of time that was saved in terms of offline mode. So I used this opportunity to be more focused on my dream to pursue my master's from abroad. Also, with this third year, I was in chemistry society. So we come with this idea of alumni association, not association, but alumni speak events in January, and we prepare for it. And we organize a fest which includes 10 alumni from various places. For example, some were joining from Germany, some was from UK, and some from US also, and different parts of India. So they were coming because of this online thing, because we were able to get them together in one mode because of online, and the platform was Zoom, so it was easy. So I used this opportunity in a positive way.
Okay, so I think that is something which is very relatable and something we can all learn from. So how and when did you make up your mind for doing MSc abroad?
From second semester, I would say I started collecting information from seniors, from teachers about. I used to ask most of the person that I want to study abroad, but I want to go on internship. I want to go with some scholarship, and if they know, please tell me. When I was in the internship, I used to ask the professor also, the researcher there, and also when I used to sit in the library there, I used to scroll. For example, the people sitting next to me, they having very diverse background and some more experience. So that was my thing then. And with second year, I also joined St. Stephen College. So I was very determined that I want to do. That's why I joined that. And also in when things turned very online, so Google turned to be my best partner for scrolling all the website and all these things.
Okay, so what was the criteria behind shortlisting the potential countries and universities?
For me, the main thing was finance, as I belong to a very middle class humble family with a very and say humble income background. So for me, the main thing was scholarship, financial, and aid with no application fee. I just applied in some universities with good rank, and also with no application fee. This was my criteria. Second one, the most important one, was to apply in the universities with the study I want to further pursue. For example, I wanted to pursue in chemistry, so I applied to the universities which were leading in the terms of chemistry research.
Okay, so like so tell us something about a European scholarship. I'm sure everyone is pretty excited to know about it and what it is about.
I have received many offers letter from various universities. For example, as you just mentioned in the intro, so it was so. And this European scholarship, this was perfectly suited because it was meeting to my financial needs, as well as it was perfectly suiting my interest. So it is a MSc in environment contamination and toxicology, and this will provide me around 43 lakhs rupees to invest into my studies and accommodation, travel, and stipend. Also, this program, this is a joint master degree which led me to explore a number of countries, and will provide me multiple degrees in the end. For example, my first semester will be in France, second semester will be in Norway, and third semester will be in Spain, and the fourth semester, that is considered to be the master's thesis, it will be in the university where I want to do my master thesis. So it is about the scholarship, and I get to know about the scholarship from Google, just scrolling the Google, and from some YouTube channels. So it is very simple procedure. All you need to do is to go and patiently check the website. There are many requirements listed. So first you need to see whether you are eligible or not. If you submit even and there are few criteria that you didn't met, so they will reject your application in the start. They won't even check. So it is the thing.
Okay. So can you tell us the application process in brief for the scholarship?
For any foreign university, the main thing required in general will be CV, SOP, LOR, and language requirements. So for CV, you need to work on your these work skills, for example, internships, research. If you are in chemistry field, I would say conferences and seminars, workshops, some research type internship, and that's how your CV build up. And with merit also matters in case of scholarships. After this there comes SOP, that is about what you were and in terms of education academics and what you want to be and why do you want to apply in this university, and what is your what is your vision ahead, what you want to do pursue further. LOR, they are given by the professor you wish to. For example, you have worked with some professor and you wish them to write you a letter of recommendation. And the last thing, language requirements, they depends on university. For example, some universities ask you for IELTS or TOEFL score, or some will waive it off and just say they will just say just provide us a letter from university that your education was in English. So for me, this particular scholarship, I wasn't required to submit my IELTS score. So it was just a letter from university that worked.
Okay. So did you face any failures as well during this journey?
Failures are very essential part of one journey if you are thinking to go long, and they are very much well known. So for me, the first application I submitted was in Max Planck Institute, Germany. The course was related to biology and engineering. Meanwhile, I get to know after some months that I wasn't selected through email, and they write me that your rank is 39th in the thousand of applications they received. So it is always disheartening to face a failure or see that you aren't selected. But you know what try to see the positive side of it. So they told me that I stand out to be 39th, and it was a kind of PhD program, integrated PhD program, and Max Plancks are considered topmost in the research work. So, and also one more thing, biology and engineering were in my background. So I took that as a silver lining. At least I wasn't having the background. Still, my application stand out to be 39. So I took as a good start. I didn't dishearten from the failure, but try to learn and grow from it. So one should notice what mistakes he had made or she had made, and then try to learn from it. And also accepting is very much essential.
Okay, so like what inspired you and what still inspires you to achieve so much in such a young age?
Most importantly, my family, they are really hardworking peoples. They my nanny, she used to take care of 10 farms and kids when Nana was in army, and she used to take care all alone. And then my parents, my father go to his work place at 7 in the morning and returns around 7 or 8 in the night. So they motivates me to do a lot. Secondly, I would say I am fond of books and novels. So for example, personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Vivekanand and Ramanujan sir, Michelle Obama, they have influenced me to serve better and to contribute my best to the society. So these people have a very positive influence on me.
Okay, so what are the things that you feel most blessed about, like which helped you during this journey, and what are the things that keep you happy while doing it?
My The most important thing is freedom that my parents provided me. I feel so blessed about it to do whatever I want to do, wherever to go, wherever I want. So I feel most blessed about it. Secondly, what makes me happy? Okay, so the work that, for example, I have been assigned some task or some work and I complete it, so that makes me very much happy. Work makes me happy in a primary sense. Secondly, I live with my little cousins, so all the time they keep surrounded and they make me happy. Also, talking to insightful people, friends, it also has a positive impact on my life.
Okay, so lastly, are there any tips that you would like to give our viewers so that they can also excel like you?
Okay, so gratitude and curiosity are the primary things one should have to, if they are thinking to go in long run. I would say it's my own opinion that you should be grateful about what you have, and you should be curious, ask questions to the people around you about the ideas, and be always curious about what is happening, what can be done, what can be done in better way. So this way. And also one should be very one should have to be very sincere, honest, truthful. And for example, what I see, people lack to see the opportunity that is coming in their way, or they don't take the opportunity as a place. For example, in some cases it's not the opportunity comes directly to you, you have to create one. So this thing people should be aware of, and they they should try to be flexible with work skills. They should learn new things as well.
Okay, so that was really inspiring, Timpy. Personally, even I learned a lot from you. So, coming towards the end of the session, I would like to thank you again on behalf of our whole team of Alma Connect for being with us today. You have really inspired us a lot. I would also like to thank our Honorable Principal Ma'am, Professor Vibha Singh Chauhan, and Seema Ma'am, our staff coordinator, for their constant effort and support throughout these sessions. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank our viewers to be with us today. Thank you so much, everyone. We are ending this session now.